Hello everybody, welcome to the Sunday League Pundits channel. In this video, we're going to be breaking down Project Big Picture and how it plans to reform English football. So let's get started.
So the major changes that the Project Big Picture makes is the number of Premier League clubs would be reduced to 18 from 20, and the total number of professional clubs in England would be reduced to 90 from 92. So Achin, do you want to explain how that works? I mean, how the clubs gonna go down and up?
Sure. So how the project plans to reduce two teams from the existing structure is that in the first season, when the project gets implemented, the 4 teams will be relegated instead of 3, and instead of 3 teams being promoted from the championship, 2 teams will be promoted. So that basically covers up for the gap of 2 teams which the project proposes. And from the following season, once the project is in place, what will happen is the 18th and 17th place teams in the Premier League will be automatically relegated,
and the Community Shield would be scrapped. So I mean, this could be called a welcome change because there was really a fixture pile-up in the Premier League, and the Premier League clubs suffered in the European competition because of this. So this would reduce a lot of number of matches. I mean, League Cup is a trophy that every club likes to win. I mean, it's a silver for the season, and Community Shield is a one-off game which doesn't really matter. So, and another major change is that the one club, one vote system would be abolished. So, Achin, do you want to explain to our viewers what is the one club and one vote system in the Premier League?
So I'll give a very simple example to understand how the change structure will work. So if, for example, if the teams want to vote on the 5 substitution rule, and if they either they want to give it the go-ahead or scrap it. So what happens in the existing structure is if 14 teams out of the 20 teams give the go-ahead to the rule, then the rule is going to be passed. But what the new changes propose is that if only 9 teams are required to give the go-ahead to a proposal instead of 14, and out of those 9 teams, even if 6 teams give the go-ahead, that is 2/3 of the 9 teams, then that proposal will be deemed to have passed. So that is the basic change in how they are going to abolish the one club, one vote system.
So the power would be shifted to 9 clubs, and then the 9 clubs are the traditional big 6, that is Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, United, Chelsea, and Tottenham, in that order, by the way. And the other 3 clubs would be Southampton, West Ham, and Everton, based on their longevity in the league.
But don't you think that City should not be according to history, City should not be going there because they just got established in 2008, if you look at it technically.
I mean, Chelsea also came in 2004, so I think there could be a debate on this, but I think we will leave this for another video. In addition to the power changes to the Premier League, 250 million payment would be made by the Premier League to the EFL. The EFL clubs are in a really bad situation right now. The 6 clubs in the championship would have to reduce their staff if they do not receive this payment, and more than 85% clubs in the League 1 and the League 2 are worried about the financial situation.
Even like if you see Macclesfield Town, that club was not professional anymore, and it's relaunched as Macclesfield FC now, and they somehow managed to get the finances to relaunch. But you could really see the impact of the coronavirus on the lower rung clubs of the English football pyramid. So also, in addition to the 250 million payment to the EFL for the clubs, 100 million payment will be given to the Football Association for improving grassroots football and for improving the Women's Super League, which is currently given a very short amount of funds and is dependent on the Football Association. So the Women's Super League would be made separate, would be independent just as the Premier League is, and they would be given a greater financial package.
Another notable point in the Project Big Picture is that 25% of the Premier League annual revenue, which is up from the 4%, so that is a major change for the EFL clubs, would be given to the EFL clubs. The total revenue earned from the League 1, League 2, Championship, and the Premier League would be combined, and 25% of that stake would be given to the championship club. I mean, this is a big boost for them, and the parachute payments would be abolished. So, Achin, do you want to explain what is the parachute payment?
Sure. So, how parachute payments work is basically if a team gets relegated from the Premier League, they are given around for 3 years. They are given supporting payments. So teams which are relegated just after they are promoted, so they are given support for a period of 2 years. However, teams who have been in the Premier League for more than a year and then they're subsequently relegated, so they are given support for 3 years. So this is basically given so they do not encounter financial troubles during their stint in the championship.
The away fans tickets would be capped at $20 in the Premier League, and the seating capacity for the away fans would be reserved at 8%. So I think it's a welcome change, and there would also be change in the broadcasting rights. There would be 8 match per season pay-per-view, and the rest of the match would be given to the broadcaster.
So currently, all 38 matches in the Premier League season are shown on the broadcasting providers, whether it's Sky Sports or Star in India. So every team gets a fixed share of revenue, regardless of which match is being shown. So what happens if this pay-per-view system comes into place is that the teams which have their own they have their own club channels, for example, Arsenal TV or Manchester United TV. So they are going to be showing their own. They are going to be showing 8 matches throughout the season, and which are going to be paid for by their fans. So if you take into the global audience, which are these clubs are going to garner in comparison to smaller clubs like Burnley or West Brom, it's going to be a heaven and earth difference between what they're going to attract in terms of audience, and that is the audience is directly going to affect how much money they're going to making in those 8 matches. So this really puts these small clubs at a very big disadvantage, because who's going to watch West Brom versus Burnley in comparison to United versus Arsenal or United versus any top 6 teams against each other?
Again, this is power grabbing by the big 6, traditional big 6 you would say, and because right now the small clubs are in need of the money, because they mainly depend on the team in the championship and the league and depend on the match day revenues, which they are not running right now. And to put things into perspective, the match day revenues are in millions. So you can calculate how that affects the small teams.
So, like, to wrap up, I don't know if a lot of you guys who are watching remember that a little time back that the European Super League, the plans to put into place a European Super League was also leaked through UEFA, and that which basically involved all the top 5 leagues, traditional top 5 leagues in the in European competition, and the bigger clubs. They're going to have a separate competition, which is going to put all the other. If you compare it to Project Big Picture, it basically all the negatives of Project Big Picture are even exaggerated in the European Super League. So I don't know. Basically, I think what it represents is that the big clubs are trying to isolate themselves into a supreme entity, like they are above, head and shoulders above the rest of the competition, and that is just going to take out the financial incentive for a lot of smaller clubs, which currently do not have the sponsorships or the financial might that the bigger clubs attract and have. So that is why, the Project Big Picture, as of recording, has been probably rejected by all 20 of the clubs in the Premier League. So this wraps up our video, and I hope you guys got a better understanding of what Project Big Picture is and why it should and why it should not be put into place. Thank you for watching, and please comment down below what your thoughts are on Project Big Picture, and please like and subscribe to the channel and share our video if you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more content.